Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our April 2021 Hot Stock Panel. 7 stocks to swing trade for explosive profits. So every month we have a theme, and this is our theme for this week or this month, where we're going to show you, give you 7 good stocks to swing trade. I've got myself and 2 of my esteemed colleagues with me today, Jim Penna and Patrick France. The beautiful thing about these panels is not only do we give you stocks to take a look at, to consider, but there's 3 different, entirely different characters that are here to give you their ideas on the stock, all right? And we're going to talk about what the company does, why we like this stock. We're going to actually give you information to know when to get in, when to get out. Market timing is so important. So we're going to include all of those things. Just if you can hear us, by all means, please respond in the affirmative in the chat, preferably with VV Nation, to let me know that we are all coming across loud and clear. And about individual stocks, we will not be looking at individual stocks today. All right, we've got our stocks picked out. If you want to get into your own stocks, Joey will put a link in the chat for you. It's called www.vectorvest.com/free. You will be able to get a free stock analysis on any stock that we track emailed directly to you. So again, today we will not be looking at your individual stocks here, but you have the opportunity to get a full stock analysis on any stock that we track emailed directly to you. So I am the one that's got 3 stocks today, so we'll start off with me. But for those of you who are brand new to the channel, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. If you like what you see here today, hit the like button. And last but not least, do not forget to comment. The interaction is what makes this what it is. And all 3 of us will try to answer as many questions as we can that we can see pop up in the chat. I don't know if Jim has the YouTube channel open up on his phone or not. I'm sure Patrick does.
I don't know.
Okay. Patrick most likely does, so we'll be able to answer questions along the way. And the hot stock panels are all about, every month, an idea of stocks to take a look at. Everybody on YouTube is always looking for stocks to get into, and that's what we're going to provide for you here in the hot stock panel. I'm going to start off with me. My name is Glenn Tompkins. I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest. I've been here now for 17 years, just made 17 years in March. And if you look at the years culminating between the 3 of us, we've got a lot of years of experience utilizing the VectorVest software to provide this kind of information to you. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into our watch list of the 7 stocks that we're going to look at. I will start off with the 3 that I have chosen, and then I will allow my 2 colleagues to comment on them and give their insights on the stocks, whether good or bad. You know, it's okay if we don't like each other's stocks. It's all right, because again, it's 3 different people with 3 different ways of investing in the market, and it's okay, but that's what you're going to get out of here. So you're going to be able to make your own decision. The 7 stocks that we have this week, this month, are LPX, LGIH, Rocky Shoes, Impala Platinum, Hymax Tech, Tesla Motors, and Microsoft. Those are the 7 stocks, and you can see we're using VectorVest real time, so the data is ticking real time throughout the day. All right, and so it looks like a nice Christmas tree. As we go through, I'm going to pick out the 3 stocks that I'm looking at. I'm looking at Rocky brand shoes. I'm looking at Impala Platinum, and then I'm also looking at Microsoft. Now, the beautiful thing about this watch list, when you look at a VectorVest watch list, these stocks are automatically sorted, so the stocks that have the best combination of value, safety, and timing will migrate to the top of the list, and the stocks that have the worst combination will go to the bottom of the list. You'll notice that by our master indicator, every one of these stocks are good quality stocks. They all have double-digit gains as far as earnings growth rate, and they all have positive earnings rates. So I think that the three of us together put together a nice list of stocks for you to continue to consider from a swing trade perspective. So I'm going to start off by analyzing them between price and value, because our mantra overall is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Now, every stock that you get into may not fit all of that criteria, but nonetheless, good quality stocks are good quality stocks, and we're going to talk about them. So Rocky Brand Shoes is trading at $55.52. It's got a value of $69.69, so the stock is currently undervalued. Our valuation on the stock looks at things like earnings growth rate, earnings per share, amongst other things, since it is still altogether a proprietary indicators. We do give an intrinsic value on every stock that we track. We'll move over to relative value. So I'm going to give a brief overview of the main indicators and what they do and helping you make a better decisions on the stocks that you like or not. Relative value, cast on a scale between 0 and 2. Relative value looks at a stock's long-term price appreciation potential, and we compare it to an alternative investment in a AAA corporate bond. You buy a AAA corporate bond, after it matures, you get all of your money back with a little interest. So it's a relatively safe investment. When I look at the relative value on a stock, it helps me determine, should this stock outperform that AAA corporate bond over the next 1 to 3 years? Well, this indicator, or RV, is at 1.43. The stock is most likely or should outperform that bond by 43% over the next 1 to 3 years. It tells me that this stock is a stock that I do want to hold long term. It fits right into the mold of stocks from a swing trade perspective. The next indicator, relative safety. It is an indicator of risk. Relative safety looks at a company's financial performance. It looks to see if a company consistently and predictably meets its earnings expectations quarter over quarter, year over year. Stocks that are high in relative safety are very attractive to investors because these are companies that continue to make money. Relative timing, that looks at the short-term price trend on a stock. This tells me if a stock is in an uptrend and how much of an uptrend it is. Above the value of 1, the stock's in an uptrend. At 1.79, Rocky's Brand Shoes is not only in an uptrend, it is moving very quickly to the upside. And then we have our master indicator that combines RVRS and RT into one indicator. Above the value of 1, it is a good quality stock. Now, another indicator that we have is CI, or Comfort Index. It is the stock's ability to withstand long and lengthy price declines. CIs above 1 are stocks that will pull back, but will not pull back deep before they rebound. This is also a good characteristic of a stock to swing trade or trying to hold for a couple of days to a couple of weeks. Earnings per share is positive at $2.88, and it's got an earnings growth rate of 17%. They grow their earnings at 17% a year. So not only does the company meet or exceed its earnings expectations, but they grow their earnings on a positive basis. Impala Platinum, man, I've made a lot of money personally on this stock. It is a platinum mining stock. Platinum is some. You got any platinum jewelry? Joey is my producer to the right. Joey's got some platinum jewelry. He's just not telling me. But that's some expensive stuff. As I look at this stock, it's trading at $20 with a value of $35. The stock is clearly undervalued as well. It's got good upside potential as compared to a AAA corporate bond. It should outperform that bond by 76% over the next 1 to 3 years. Is it a safe stock? It's above the value of 1. Not as safe as Rocky Brand Shoes, but definitely a safe stock. Is it going up in trend? Yes, it is. At 1.57 on RT, the stock is definitely moving higher, not as fast as Rocky. Good CI, the stock is not susceptible to long or lengthy price declines, positive earnings, and growing it at a clip of 37% a year. And the last stock is Microsoft. Now, why did I pick Microsoft? Well, if you look at us on YouTube, between Patrick and I, we put a lot of videos out on stocks that are making the news. Microsoft just got a contract with the Army for augmented reality goggles. Now, the only bad side is an IT friend of mine. You remember Rob McCready, Jim?
I certainly do.
Yeah, and he posted on my Facebook. He says, "You wait until Microsoft has to do an update while these guys are in the field with these augmented glasses. That's not going to be a fun thing." You'd be like, "Wait, there's an update, and they will be jacked up." But
Yeah, the Apple one's coming.
when are the Apple ones coming out? Why you putting that out there like that? You need to sit over there and hush before I fight you. All right, leave me alone. Anyway, so
Or their glasses get malware.
Wow, all the glasses get malware. That'd be messed up. Sorry, soldier, your glasses have been hacked. Anyway, I think that's big enough news for Microsoft, nonetheless, to push the stock's price higher, and it definitely could be a good opportunity for a swing trade. So I wanted to analyze these stocks in front of you so that you can see what the analysis says from a VectorVest perspective. Now we're going to pull up a graph. Those three stocks are highlighted. I'm going to right click. I'm going to view the stock graph, and I'm going to be looking at pretty much a 3-month graph. Everybody always asks me, why do I like a 3-month graph? Because what happens every 3 months on the stock? Earnings. I want to make sure that the earnings picture is reflected within the graph's price movement, since it is such a big mover of the stock's price, right? So as I look at this stock, the first thing I'm looking for in a swing trade scenario is bottom left, top right. That's the stock's price movement over the last 3 months. What do I see happening right now? Look at 2 big down days on Rocky brand shoes. I'm going to explain to you why that's happening in a second. What else is on my graph? A 3 and an 8 exponential moving average. I like that whether it's a day trade or a swing trade. And remember when I told you that that level of CI was really high? Look at the pullbacks on the stocks. Not long, protracted pullbacks. I think that that's really a great characteristic of a stock that you're trying to swing trade. Now, down below, we have relative timing. Tells me if the stock's in an uptrend or not. It definitely is above the value of 1. I'm also looking at volume. Volume is conviction. If I see a stock's price going up, I want to make sure that people are getting involved in the movement of the stock to the upside. Now, as I mentioned, the stock has pulled back for the last 2 days, right? Look at stochastic oscillator. Stochastics is above the value of 80, and I'm going to draw a line here, horizontal line right at the value of about 80. When a stock's price gets to that level of about 80, the stock's going to have a tendency to pull back because the stock is considered to be overbought. That's exactly what's going on with Rocky brand shoes right now. And the last time that happened way back here, the stock's price pulled back for a couple of days before it went back up. The 3 and the 8 are still positive on this pullback. Now, as far as getting into it, I would wait to see if the stock can overtake that last level of the high. I like it as a swing trade, but right now I'm waiting. If I'm not in the stock, I'm waiting to get into the stock. I always want to buy a stock on an up day, not on a down day. As I look at the technicals on the stock with the moving averages, RT still above 1 but pulling back means it's losing a little bit of momentum. I really like the high CI ranking on it because it tells me that this stock is not going to have a big pullback for the most part, and we'll see what happens. And the stock is in overbought territory. If I did get into the stock, I'm going to draw a level of current support, former resistance at the value of about 49.08. I think that would be a good level in case you did get into it and it pulled back. That would be a good level to consider possibly taking it off of the table because it's not doing what you want to do any longer. So to get in, I would wait for the stock's price to take out that level of the high. I do like the 3 and the 8. And if you did get into it because you didn't want to listen, there are a lot of folk out there saying, well, no, I'm going to go buy it. If you didn't want to listen, here's your level of a line in the sand, which I call a LITS, line in the sand. I have about 49.08 that if it drops below that price, that's a good level of former resistance, current support to possibly get out of the stock. So that's my first stock, Rocky brand shoes. And guess what? It's summertime. Guess what? I just took my wife to the store yesterday and we spent some money on some summer shoes. All right, so this is the time of the year where people want to go to the beach like Patrick. He's going to go buy his summer shoes so that he can let his toes run through the sand and all that kind of stuff. Jim won't do that, but Patrick probably will. But this is a good time for summer shoes, and I think Rocky Brands is going to be a good opportunity from a swing trade perspective. All right, now I'll bring my other two colleagues in to add anything to the stock pick, starting off with Patrick.
Yeah, so I like what we see here. Volume is slowing down a little bit. I'd like to see, not only the stock break out past today's high, but also on some strong volume, showing conviction if you wanted to try to get in a little bit before waiting for the previous high to be broken. RT is looking pretty good, though. I'd like to keep an eye on stochastics, make sure that stays above 80 or, doesn't go below 50 at the bare minimum. Or maximum there. But yeah, I like what I see so far with this one.
Excellent. Jim?
Sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I agree. I'll look at a couple of things here. I mean, those candlesticks that are there, I see the three turning over. I see RT turning over, and I see overbought on stochastics. So, yeah, Glenn, talked about it earlier, but it's certainly not one I'd purchase right now. Where we are, but I love everything else about it, and I'm going to talk too about the 3 and 8 and having all of these fundamentals in the high VST ranking that it has and the high CI. I do love it, but yeah, this would be one. While it looks great overall, I wouldn't dabble in now for sure.
And I totally agree with that. All right, I'm going to go to my next stock, which is IMPUY Impala Platinum. Definitely a stock moving from the bottom left to the top right. The whole idea of stocks to swing trade are stocks that you don't want to have to get in today and get out tomorrow. These are stocks that you don't mind holding. Now, same kind of scenario. The 3 and the 8 look good. The stock's got a nice open candle today, trading at $20.06. The 3 and the 8 looks solid. Relative timing is starting to rise after it pulled back and bounced off of a level of support back here at $16.99. And boom, look at that. There's the bounce. There's the 3-8 crossover. Stock's still moving, hitting a new all-time 3-month high. But I will keep my eye on that level of stochastics. The stock is in overbought territory. Same kind of scenario. Put it at about that 80. There you go. They're about there. Son of a gun. Oh, whatever. There it is. Notice that when the stock's price hit that again, it pulled back, but not a protracted long pullback to the downside. Found a level of support, bounce, 3-8 cross, but I am keeping my eye on that level of stochastics. I like the stock from a swing trade perspective. Now, aggressively, if you want to jump on board with the stock, you could. I am looking at stochastics telling me that the stock is overbought. But I will say this. A lot of times when a stock is in overbought territory, if the stock's price persistence is running, it will keep moving higher. I do not use stochastics if I'm in it. I do not use it as a trigger. I use it as a heads up indicator. Because back here when the price was in that overbought territory, look what the stock's price continually did until finally it did pull back. So I like this stock from a swing trade perspective, just strictly looking at the graph. It looks great. All the fundamentals behind it are great. It's got good earnings per share at $2.68 on a $20 stock, earnings growth rate at 37%. The stock's in an uptrend. The stock's got good upside potential. It's not super risky stock. So I like it from a graphical perspective. But mining is not altogether a hot industry for gold and silver, but this is platinum, a little different story. So as I look at that, I like this as a swing trade, and now I'm going to turn it over to my peeps again. What's up, peeps? And we'll start with Patrick.
So I definitely like what I'm seeing here with this one. One thing I'd keep an eye on, today it looks like we're just breaking through that resistance. Yeah, there you go. So it looks like yesterday closed right at that resistance level. Today's trying to break out. From a breakout play, I'd definitely keep an eye on it tomorrow. Make sure it can close strong today, can close where it's at right now or higher. But then keep an eye on it tomorrow to see if the follow through comes through. And that would be, the way I would look at it from an entry for a breakout standpoint.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I would just offer that I think it has broken out here, right? So yesterday, I believe if we were looking at yesterday, that would have been the high there, right? That was higher than this previous high.
Well, if you're going to use the wick, then it would be that was the high.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at the close, but either way, it's broken through resistance here either way, and it's trading at a high. I mean, if I'm swing trading and I'm looking for a stock with momentum, unlike the Rocky Balboa you had up there, this one is this is what I want to see. I personally don't care all that much about the stochastics here, but if I, again, I got to look at the overall market. But this is what if I can't buy it retracing from support, which is ideal, of course, then I want it to break through resistance, and that's what it looks like. There's no wick there. I'm just trading at the high right now, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely right.
But, again, assuming the market conditions, and I was bullish on the overall market, this is what I want to see. And the other, I'll comment on that later, but most of the stocks we look at here are going to have this similar pattern because despite the volatility, these are top VST stocks that are moving up in price anyway. So most of them are going to be touching resistance. So give me the one that broke out. I like that.
Excellent. All right. And let's go to my last stock, which is...
Oh, and Glenn, just to update you, I actually already did purchase some beach shoes for the year. Some natives. They're actually, made from algae, so they're good for the planet. They're reusable or recyclable, what all that is.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for asking.
No, I didn't
Glenn,
ask.
by the way, I have the beach behind me because I just got back from the beach this weekend. A nice Easter weekend on the beach up in Stone Harbor, New Jersey, and it was beautiful. So I like the beach too.
I guess this should be 7 hot stock beach stocks to take advantage of. But thank you both for your comments on that. I'm sure that Patrick had shoes. I knew he would. Hugo's question, if I go back to the stock real quick, Hugo's question was, is it okay to get into it today? I think between both Patrick and Jim answering your question, it could possibly be. I like the breakout. Patrick is right. It broke out. What tends to happen, a stock will tend to challenge that breakout and test it as a level of support. But I like the good up day. I like all of the good things I like about it. I just keep your eye on stochastics. All right. My last stock is Microsoft. It was going well, and then it went into a channel. Another breakout stock for me as you're looking at it from this perspective, bottom left, top right. But with that contract news, look at that level of resistance that it was at the value of 240.55. And look at that breakout. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, boom, boom, boom. Let me hear you say, way-oh.
Hey-oh.
Thank you. Wow, I was waiting. Holy smokes, it took you a minute. And as I look at this stock,
I'll leave you hanging on that one.
It's hitting a new high. I like it. I got a little bit of trading day still left. I'd like to see the volume stay on par. Another stock, and Jim is right, a lot of these stocks are going to be looking the same way with the market still being robust overall. A lot of these stocks are going to be in that that overbought territory. I want you to leave it as a level of a heads up, not a trigger, as a heads up. The stock is doing exactly what you want it to do from a swing trade perspective. It's hitting a new high over the last 3 months. The news, I think, is going to help to catapult it until they find out something's wrong with Microsoft and the update and it got hacked and all that stuff. I think there's a lot of funny memes out there about it. The stock recently went from below 1 to above 1 on RT, so it's gaining some momentum. I think that this is a good quality stock that's been around for quite some time, and this contract is going to help push the stock's price higher. All right, so you said, what search is this? These are cherry picks from us, FH. These are our picks when we came together and brought these stocks to the table for you guys. All right, so I'm going to bring in my other colleagues to check this out, and we'll start with Patrick. What do you think, homie Stromy Baloney?
I mean, the whole contract and all is great until, they're out in the field, and if it's anything like their current Windows updates, it'll be like right when you really need it, and then everything will just stop and it'll say updating Windows currently, and then it shuts down right when they actually need to use it. You know,
I'm
I
sure
think
they got
definitely see
stuff
some
in
good
play
momentum.
for that. I'm sure they got something in play, but you never know.
I mean, it's a Windows operating system. They all work the same.
Well, we'll see. All right.
So yeah, I mean, I like the pattern. I like the play. It looks, you know, kind of like if it pulled back a little bit, maybe setting up for a cup and handle where you have the cup forming right now, going into a handle. But I mean, if it comes down to Microsoft or Apple, I'm gonna have to pick Apple. I'm a Mac guy, so.
Well, I am too. I am too. So, all right, Jim.
No, I like Microsoft here. I know. I guess they signed some kind of contract, but
I
overall,
just said that.
I know you did. You also said in the last stock you wouldn't buy it today because it hasn't broken out yet, but you'd buy this one.
Oh, this one is hitting a new
I
high.
would too. I'm just
Okay.
saying. I'm just being a wise guy because you
because you love me. I know.
give me
It's
some
so good.
shade there. Anyway, now it looks good. Listen, it's Microsoft. Before I buy this stock, I'm going to look at the Qs. I'm looking at the NDX, XLK. The two biggest positions in the ETF is in XLK is Microsoft and Apple. So if you want them both, just go buy that one. But I like it. And I like the pattern just as the prior one. It's breaking out, hitting new high. I mean, when are you going to buy it? How long are you going to wait?
Oh, I like this one now.
Break out before you buy it.
No, I like this one now as long as I put a buy stop order higher than higher than today's high. That's what I would do, me personally. All right. Real quick before I move this over to Patrick, I do want to let you guys know that we have a summit, a new financial freedom summit coming up next week, April 16th and 17th. If you go to our website, www.vectorvest.com/summit, it will take you to this website. You can click right on that register now, free, and you can be registered for that Financial Freedom Summit. Folks, it's free. We have them once or twice a year, actually twice a year now. It's a great way to bone up on your ability to take your investing to the next level. It is free for 2 days. I will be hosting the event. It's my pleasure to do so. We'd love to see you there. This is specifically going out to the brand new people to the channel who don't know much about what VectorVest does. This is a great opportunity for you to get some more insight as to what we do, and we've got presenters from all around the country to help you out with the present. There's Patrick's picture, Jim's picture, there's Jim's picture, there's my picture. So we have presenters from all around the world going to put this together for you. All right. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Patrick. Patrick's going to introduce himself and tell you what he does here, and then he's going to get into his stocks. So take it away, Patrick.
All right. So once again, my name is Patrick France. I'm a senior instructor here at VectorVest. I'm the mobile man here at VectorVest. I help Glenn out with content on our YouTube channel if you guys haven't seen that already. I also do a live stream every Thursday over on our Facebook page where I specifically focus on our mobile app and talk about latest trends, new features, how to use the app to make money essentially. Our goal over there is to help you become financially independent. So if you're interested in that, and whether you're already a subscriber and you want to see how to get the most out of your mobile app, come hang out with us every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Or if you're brand new, the mobile app is a great place to get started in, to really get the ideas of what VectorVest does, get some insight into the market timing, which is what we've been known for over 30 plus years. So regardless of whether you're brand new to VectorVest or wanting to get into VectorVest, or you've been with VectorVest for a while, we cover a lot of different topics to help you, develop sound trading strategies and plans, focusing on the mobile app, however. So with that, my two stocks that I have here today, one of them is going to be, of course, the lowest RT stock in the list. The other one, not too shabby. So my two stocks are going to be Himax and Tesla. So Himax is one that's more of a momentum play. We'll take a look at that here in a few seconds, but we go through the analysis. It's fairly valued currently, as the value is 1482, the price is at 1492, so pretty much fairly valued for right now. We scroll over, it has good long-term potential, about average risk involved with this one, really nice strong uptrend. And one of the two things I wanted to look at for stocks, especially with the market the way it is right now, consolidating, I want to look for high CI stocks, and this one has a CI of 1.7 and Tesla 1.77. So both of these stocks have that strong resilience factor that, in a long run in the market, you'd really want to be focusing on, because ones without that high CI are ones that are going to get probably beaten up pretty bad, on the pullbacks that we have in this consolidation. Those are going to be the ones that are hit the hardest. So my focus was looking for stocks that have that resiliency to bounce back quickly on after down days like that. So Tesla, just to quickly go over the analysis as well, good long-term potential here. You have really solid fundamentals, so less risk associated with this stock with a strong RS, but the timing at 0.84. So I know this stock has, the worst timing, as I just mentioned, in the whole entire list. But once we take a look at the graph, you'll see why I still feel like it has that potential to really be an explosive breakout stock coming up in the very near future. Everybody loves Tesla. They've had some pretty big sell-offs recently, but that's after they've already had huge runs throughout 2020. And so, of course, you're going to see some profit taking occurring, but the business hasn't changed. Their model hasn't changed, and Tesla looks pretty sound so far. So with that, we'll go ahead and get these stocks pulled up in a graph real quick, and we'll take a look at those. There we go. All right, so we'll zoom out, let's say 6 months here. So first off, taking a look at Tesla, we can see that huge run coming up into the beginning of this year, hitting that high of about 900 after the split. And then you saw people booking their profits, and the stock, of course, was starting to sell off. But since that point, we've now hit a higher low here as of late. And we do have a level of resistance. I can't read what number that is because it's so small here, but Glenn, maybe you could help me out what number that is.
Move your mouse. That is no move. I can't see. I still can't see. That's there it is. 697.31.
697. All right, so let's just call that 700 even. So you have essentially a double top here, a higher low showing some potential momentum building up to the down or to the upside here. Before the market opened today, it was looking like it was potentially trying to break through that level of resistance. So my entry on this would definitely be that breakout of that resistance of that $700 range. If you wanted to get into it early to capture a little bit extra of a profit, then best way to handle that, using just a simple trend line. Connect these lines here, or connect these 2 points here. And if it breaks that trend line, then you have an easy line in the sand to get out on. But if you want to be more prudent with your entry, just simply wait to see if it breaks that level of 700, and then that could be that great entry you'd be looking for. So I know that, the RT is down, so telling us on a short-term basis the trend is down, but we're definitely seeing that trend, that downtrend dissipating, and that's why I brought it in here today to get an early look on it rather than waiting until after it explodes and then talking about it. So we'll start off with Glenn, I think, to get his thoughts on it.
All right. That I do a lot of Trending Thursday stuff here on our YouTube channel. So I know that the EVs have taken a big hit overall, and I'm still trying to grasp the reason why. Tesla is the big boy that everybody's going after, and Tesla is sitting in a channel. I'm with you. The stock's got to break out of that channel before I like the stock. If I'm looking at it on a 6-month graph, I do see going from the bottom left to the top right. But that big pull off on EV stocks, Tesla's not the only one that experienced it, makes me think twice behind it, because I look at this stocks like Xpeng and Lee Motors and Neo, and they're all exhibiting a lot of the same characteristics. So the space is what concerns me from a swing trade perspective. The stock, though, is in the channel. You got to believe that if the EV space turns around, Tesla is going to be a leader in that space. But that's what concerns me from a swing trade perspective is the EV space. And there's a lot of positive press about it. All of the major manufacturers for cars are making a commitment to EVs. And that's why I don't understand the big pullback on the EV space, but nonetheless, it's pullback. I need that stock to get out of its channel. I do like the higher lows, but I need the stock to get out of the channel before I even consider getting it. Jim?
Well, yeah, on the technical side, I agree, Glenn. I think personally, Tesla is probably, you listed a handful of the newer electric vehicle cars. We know Tesla is much more mature than that. They've been around. So I wouldn't give them the benefit of the doubt on that. Listen, I'm going to say personally, I'm not a Tesla fan of the stock. That's me speaking. That's not VectorVest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan. If I was going to trade this stock, it would purely be a day trade. I wouldn't hold the stock overnight. It's a pricier stock, a little harder to swing trade unless you have the margin. Trade on a margin and a day trade, you don't have to pay the margin interest. So that's a great thing of that. But again, from the technical side, forget the symbol here. From a technical side, it would be the same idea, right? We're looking for it to break through resistance here, and I certainly wouldn't buy it until it did that, which I'm sure it will at some point. But like I said, I don't know. The downfall to me that, I usually try to, which I'll talk about when I go, but, a ratio on a swing trade of gain to loss there. And it just seems to me a lot of risk to the downside that I don't want to take.
All right.
That's my personal.
But again, that's why we got 3 different personalities on here giving our insight. And that's what the people out there want to hear. And that's absolutely right in line. Absolutely. All right, Patrico.
All right. And so just to talk, or just to, answer, rebuttal some of that, Tesla was at 900, dropped all the way down to 600, even lower than that for a little bit, briefly below 6. That's a 30% correction on a solid, fundamentally sound company. So I see that, that 30% correction, that gives a lot of people a healthy opportunity to jump back in who may have missed out previously. Obviously I could be mistaken, but that's why I look for that breakout above that 700 level, though.
Gotcha.
All right. So next one on the list is HIMAX. HIMAX was a very similar pattern here, where we have these higher lows being formed. I'll just use the freehand line here. And then you have this level of resistance, which already is drawn on here. Let me just pull up my chart, that way I can use it instead. Level of resistance right around 1470, so basically $15, just a little bit below that, but same situation. You have some upward momentum building by these higher lows after a pullback. You were testing that level of resistance today. It's pulling back with the overall market, but if we can hold that and break through tomorrow, that's what I'm looking for, is that breakout through that resistance level, re-challenging those previous highs.
Interesting that the stock did break through, but I got a shooting star pattern shining up right now, which could be a possible reversal. Look at it did hit a breakthrough nicely, got up above $16 today on really good volume, almost 10 million shares. But the bears look like they are trying to keep it under that level of the resistance. This will be the 3rd time that it challenged resistance at that level of 1515 and not been able to break through. With today's activity, it's probably going to put the solid line all the way across. That's key. I'm with you on the lower, on the higher lows. The stock is moving higher. But man, that level of resistance can't be overlooked. And this is the 3rd time that it's failed. Now, what time is it? We still got about an hour and a half worth of market trading day left. Man, I really need to see that stock today close above it, or else it could be stuck in that channel. I don't know. It's what is it? Some kind of a wedge. Yes, maybe it's not even an ascending. It's a thing. But look at the body today. The bears are really slamming that stock down at that level of resistance. That's what catches my attention on big volume. So it's not like it went up, but this is on big volume compared to over the last couple of weeks worth of volume. So that really catches my attention. Jim?
Yeah, I agree with that. Somebody's taking their profits right from the high of the day. It's still higher than yesterday's high. I can't.
It is.
It's pretty bunched up here, but it's still higher. But you're right. I mean, it did take a beating, and along the lines, and the same will be for the stocks that I show. We're at resistance, and what we need to see is for a trade is to see it break through there. And again, we're not quite seeing it now. You know, I know hindsight's 20/20, but that crossover right here would have been a great spot. I don't see any other support on here, but same idea where we are. I think it's just a fact of where we are in the overall market. A lot of what the market's doing, I think, has a lot to do. I think these are all great stocks that we're looking at, but it's the market trend and where is it going to take us next. But I love the pattern. Again, I've mentioned the price of Tesla. I love the price of this one for a nice trade. So yeah, it's got to break through that resistance.
Hey, Patrick, before I move over to Jim, question in the chat. Does your app give entry, target, and exit? Yes or no, please?
So yes, just like with VectorVest, our market timing tells us when to buy. We don't give a target because it depends on when you get in, depends on your personal preference. An exit, yeah, we have a stop price, but we also talk about, you know, teaching individual traders how to learn what types of stops they should use, what types of stops are best for them, and how to implement those types of stops into a trading plan. That's really all what VectorVest is about, is, you know, developing a systematic approach, and we have everything you need to be able to do that, to get the answers you're looking for on any individual stock.
That's why I put it in your hands, because you could put it so eloquently. Well, I could have done it too, but you did it gooder than I would have. Yes, I
and
said
also
gooder.
The high max thing, though, just to go back on it.
Yeah.
This morning it looked great. If we go to a 1 day, it was looking great most of the morning.
Yeah.
But then the market started taking a little bit of a breather, if you will, for lack of better terms. And you can see it's been pulling back, but consolidating. It hasn't really continued to break past those lower lows. So it is holding this level nicely, especially with, you know, taking into account the overall market. But yeah, you know, that's why I looked for these stocks to make sure they had those high CIs. So knowing that they can bounce back quickly. And that's why, you know, I know with the way the market is currently in consolidation, makes it a little harder to find those kind of breakouts. So I'm looking to find stocks that have that potential to break out by utilizing CI. And that kind of gives hopefully everybody a little more insight on the two picks that I had, though.
There you go. All right. Before I get to Jim, one more time, I do want to talk to you about this summit. It is free. Go to www.vectorvest.com/summit. From that page, you will be able to click on the Register Now button, and you will be registered for this free 2-day online event. It's online, it's free, it's awesome, you'll love it. Again, especially for the people who are new here who want to learn more about what VectorVest does, this is a great way, no money out of pocket. You can watch it from home in your pajamas, if you wear pajamas, but that's another whole story for another whole time, to be able to watch it at home. All right, so I want to push that. And next, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We've got a lot more content than just the event that we're doing right now. Beyond just the hot stock panel, Patrick and I and Jason put a lot of video content out there. Please subscribe to the channel. Please watch the videos. Give us your feedback on those videos as well. All right. So I am going to give away a cup. Type mug in the room. Do it quick. Do it now. Now. Type mug in the room. At the end of this presentation, we will be giving away a free VectorVest mug. I don't know. Which one am I looking at? This one? All right. So we will be giving a free VectorVest mug away. Type mug in the room, and we'll be able to do that. So as everybody's typing mug in the room, Jim will have an opportunity to introduce himself while everybody's typing mug and tell you all about what I like Jim. I like Patrick too, but Jim's got an interesting story if you've never heard it. So Jim, take it away, man.
Some stories I won't tell here. But, thank you to you and Patrick and Joey and everybody else. And thanks for being here. My name is Jim Penna, Manager of Retirement Services here at VectorVest. And I've been here, I guess, going on 15 years now, 14 or 15. I lose track. But I've been here long enough to know that I have a great confidence in the program, what we look at and what we see here. And I'm going to express that in the two stocks that I've chosen and talk a little bit about some. I'm going to change it up just a little bit here. I took LPX and LGIH.
Of course, you picked the low-lying fruit that's all the way at the top of the list. But I'm just saying.
There's a reason I picked them because they're at the top of the list.
Right?
I mean, that's why I picked them. Okay, but we're gonna have a little fun here today. Although, can I get into?
You got control.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, I can get in the stock viewer. Okay, so I chose, and you can see, I'm not going to take the time. You guys know, or Glenn and Patrick both talked about relative value, safety, timing, CI, earnings growth rate, and you can see these are all just excellent numbers. That's why they are, at least they were this morning, the highest ranked VST stocks in the entire program. And so I won't take the time on that, but they are very good, not only fundamentally sound, but right now they are moving very well. Before I get into the graph, why did and Glenn's right. I did pick, it's easy to go and pick the highest two VST stocks. And why wouldn't you when we see things like this? So we received an email, Glenn and Patrick, I'm sure that you guys saw it. Dr. DeLito sent an email internally to us this week. Did you guys see that email?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to go into Stock Viewer, and it was great because he said, this is what Dr. D's email said, go into the Stock Viewer and graph the top 25 stocks and put certain parameters on them. Now, I'm going to go ahead. I don't need to do top. Well, it doesn't matter. I won't go through all 25 of them. But if I go here, we'll put in top 25, right where it says graph all. I'm going to pick top 25. And when I click there, it should come up. So there are our graphs. He then said to go ahead and put the following on the graph. Okay, I'm going to take volume off for now. I'm going to take the 20-day off. He said, go ahead and put on, let me take stochastics off too. He said, put on earnings per share, relative timing, the earnings growth rate, and also comfort index onto the graph. I think that's all of the ones he said to put on there. Oh, and value. That was the other, and value.
And you can take off my moving averages if you want to.
Okay. Where's
capital appreciation?
Should be right there. Okay. And then we'll add value. And for now, because I'm going to put those back on in a minute, but for now we'll take it off. So Dr. D sent us an email and he said, go ahead and graph the top 25 stocks from the stock viewer and add these things in here. And then he put in big capital letters, can you top that? Can you beat that? And that was kind of the genesis for the two stocks that I picked. And there's a bunch here. I'm not going to go through all the graphs, but the one that I chose, the two I chose were the two top performers. And as we've been talking about, comfort index, growth rate, earnings per share. All right, what am I on? I'm on a 3-month graph. I could put them to a 1-year graph and they'd still look very strong here. Okay. So the idea that if you're looking for a stock to trade, right, and I come back to a 3-month graph, this is a great place to start. Now, what we're going to find, as I mentioned earlier, and we've talked about already, is that a lot of these stocks, because of the market has been trending upward for the last week or two, there's been some volatility, but it's moving. Idea here in with LPX. as we do with the other stocks that we've looked at for the most part. It's right at resistance. We don't really want to buy it here right at resistance. So we'll wait till it breaks out. And of course, using a buy stop order is a great way to do it. Whatever that high was there, it closed. I usually use the closing. 60.31 was the close from yesterday. So, you can pick the buy stop limit. You can put it at 60.40, wherever you might want to put it, but make sure it breaks out. The other thing you can do is, or what I like to do is keep an eye on that once it breaks out. Glenn, what was the one you were just showing? It was well above, no, or Patrick was showing the HIMAX, I guess. What I would like to do is wait and see an entire candlestick above the resistance, right? So I do need that second day's confirmation for it to just trade above, which is another I'll use the word, a more prudent way to do it. But that's another way to do it. But it's true, that's what we need to see. Now, if that were trading over there, that resistance right now might be a good time to go in and pick that stock. But I love the idea of putting these indicators on here. Again, someone had asked, I think earlier in the chat box, where do we find the stocks? I'm paraphrasing the question, but where do we find the stocks? And then I thought this was just a great basic way to do it here in the program. So what I like to do is I put on. Do we have support and resistance up here? We do. Okay. I'm going to do something different. I don't know what the settings are, but all I'm doing is going in. Glenn, did that come up on another screen? The settings?
Yeah, I'm moving it over to you now.
Thank you. Thanks. Just as kind of a side note for those who use support and resistance in the program, I actually use 300 bars. And what I'll also do is change mine to average and medium. There's no right or wrong here, by the way. It's wherever you're comfortable. I believe it defaults to strong and thin. But I use the medium and average, and I do usually use 300 bars. One of the reasons I do that is because over time, I realize that when I try to self-impose my support or resistance, that average and medium generally puts it where I like to see it. So I use that. But again, looking at this particular stock, this is in the building wood products. So I'm going to talk about the industries as well in a second. But it is very similar to what we've been looking at. It broke through resistance here. So if I were using that idea that it's broken through resistance, I probably would have bought the stock yesterday, or perhaps because it had a nice run the day before, I certainly may have gone into it on that particular date. Okay. And just to comment on that idea. So what if I had gone in then? We talk about losses, and that's one of the reasons I didn't like Tesla, because of the potential for for that greater loss and the bigger movement because of the higher price. Remember, you're going to have money management techniques on these. Now, I'm not going to go through 5 different management techniques, but if you're swing trading, right, usually I like to use a ratio where you could use it in percentage. I believe in the Jockey Club, Patrick, or both you guys do Jockey Club. Is it 28 and 7, I believe, percent in a lot of the trading plans? So I usually use it in dollar movements. So it might be, a $4 or $5 move to the upside, maybe a $1 or $2 move to the downside. But just keep that in mind. I mean, if I did purchase this yesterday, I wouldn't be worrying too much because I'd have my stop in place to get out of it. But again, I love the email from Dr. D. So guys, you can comment on this particular stock. That's why I chose it though. And one thing I want to do while you're doing that, again, because I'm last, so I can change things up. I usually don't use the candlesticks because I'm not as well versed as my colleagues here. But I use the open, high, low, close, and I'll use support and resistance. So you guys can comment on these.
I like LPX. I like that it was sitting in the channel, broke out of the channel, and it conforms to our mantra of buying safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. Clearly undervalued, sat in a channel, broke out of the channel, continued moving higher. Earnings per share, earnings growth, CI, all moving up. I like the stock, and I joked to you about picking the low-lying fruit, but that email did come out to all of us internally here at VectorVest from Dr. D. And you know, who knows better about the software than he does? This is a simple way. And I'm with Jim. Jim asked the question, somebody asked the question, what search did we use? We cherry picked these stocks. But from a VectorVest standpoint, and for those of you who are not VectorVest subscribers, how cool is it that you can go to the stock viewer and do this? How cool is that? And guess what? We offer you a free, a 30-day trial to our software for 99 cents. 30 days for 99 cents to be able to get stocks like this at your fingertips. Just think about that. So I do like it. Patrick?
I like it. You know, the one thing I like the most is you have a pretty clear line in the sand as well. Using that previous level of resistance is now going to be support. So, you know, if it does pull back a little bit, you know, you have some places to keep an eye on. So that way, you know, whether you're using, you know, hard stops or whether you're using technical analysis for your trade. Personally, I like using technical analysis to know when my exit should be. And I like that it's already there for you. Takes the guesswork out of it. Don't have to worry about it. Just, you know, check in on it once a day after the close, and you know, makes it a really easy, manageable position.
Yeah, great, thanks. And so that's one. Again, it's down. It as we've said 20 times already. It's what we're going to see in this current market. But the next stock was my other choice here. Was LGIH. Oh, you know what? There was one thing I wanted to show here real quick. So I wanted to come back here and just point something out. You know, we talk about how I would trade it or what I would do, just to give you an idea. So what you have here, I mean, this is the ideal situation, right? We've tested the support here, and it begins to retrace. So it retraced from support here. You could have bought it here on a strong day, or if you wanted to wait for even more confirmation, you would have bought it. Was it yesterday? No, not yesterday. Last week, right? Somewhere in this range here. And while it did turn over a bit the next day, nowhere near where you'd have a reasonable stop criteria, and you would already be in the stock. But I just wanted to go back. Yes, I know hindsight's 20/20, but same thing would have happened here. Broke through resistance, traded above it, and you could have owned it there. And for a nice swing trade, would have had the movement. So, you know, keep that in mind as you move forward. Looking, you know, when you cherry pick your own hot stocks. I use support and resistance. You see, I changed mine to open, high, low, close because I don't really use candlesticks much. But to me, support and resistance is really one of the few only technical indicators that I use. Supply and demand. It is, as a former market maker, I remember the importance of where the orders were. Right, what does a trader's book look like? Where are the buyers? Where are the sellers? And once that resistance is gone, you know, listen, there's no guarantees it's going to spike, but chances are better than it will. So that's why I like the support and resistance mostly. But anyway, that's just a way to do it. The next is LGIH. Looking at a 3-month graph, same idea here. This one now did hit the new high today. It's higher than yesterday, or it was at least. I don't know if it is right now. Higher than yesterday's high, hitting a new high today, and it's in the building, residential, commercial industry. So again, just not a whole lot of analysis to do here. I forgot to put them back on. I do also like to use the 3 and 8, especially on intraday or day trading. But the 3 and 8, if I can add it back on here, is also a great way to use as your exit strategy. So as Patrick said, you know, I generally will have a ratio in mind before I get out. Usually I do mine in dollars, not percentages, but the 3 and 8 is, as everyone here in the Jockey Club knows, is a great way to do that. So this is similar along all of the other stocks we've been watching, but today it's the one that hasn't really pulled back from its, you know, it's hitting a new high today. I mean, it's pulled back a little bit today, but it's still at a high here, and I kind of like this stock as well.
This stock is beautimous. That's what it is. It is beautimous. Love the equity curve. Love all of this stuff. It is clearly undervalued. You know what's going to probably help to even push this higher, folks? If we get the bill to come through for infrastructure, you know, I'm thinking that steel is going to take off. A lot of buildings are going to take off. A lot of building management is going to take off. This could bode well if the bill goes through for more stimulus, especially for infrastructure. So this stock is like right on time for what we're talking about from a swing trade perspective. So it could definitely push it higher. No, it's not bituminous. I said butamus. There's a difference between bituminous and butamus. I said butamus. Sigh,
Glenn,
voice emoji.
on that note of the infrastructure, they don't even need that help. Housing right now, or the market for houses is the lowest, like what is it, or existing home sales, I believe it was, is the lowest number it's been in 6+ years, if I'm not mistaken.
They say there's currently more real estate agents than there are houses for sale in the country right now.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
And so that's what I see with that is, they don't really need the help. They already have the demand there. Everybody's trying to build new homes, and I think they're going to definitely benefit from it.
All right. So
Yeah, so
I like both of the picks, Jim.
Glenn, is there a way to get to the homepage real quick? I know we're at 3 o'clock. I wanted to make one quick comment.
You're going to do that, and I got to do one quick thing as well. But yeah,
okay.
I'm going to get you there. Hold on. All right.
So I wanted to make
this is set up for Trending Thursday, so it's a little different setup.
Do we have industries though, right?
Yeah.
There's the top industries.
Steel.
Yeah. So I'm looking through these and going through, and you'll see building wood products is the number 2 ranked industry by RT. You've got building, residential, and commercial is number 4. There is a search, and we don't have to go through and show it all, but I don't always pick just the top stocks, and one of the reasons is because they're all in the same industry. But I wouldn't build a portfolio of the top stocks, is what I'm saying. But if you go to Gordon's Groupies in the prudent folder, yeah, it's a great indicator simply to go and find what industries are doing, because there's an industry parameter to it. And right now, I think that the top dozen stocks are all in the building industry, whether it's wood or residential, commercial. So I use it just as some information. So you get some great information on the industries that are trending higher. So if you're looking for a swing trade, naturally, I want stocks that are in an industry that's trading higher, and I can cherry pick through there. And then finally, the RT Delta search in Unisearch is another great way to find the hottest industries right now, whether it's 10 or whatever you adjust it to. It's a great way to find these stocks, then put them on the graph and decide where your entry and exit points are, the way we've been talking about. Throw support and resistance up there. And, listen, and as Glenn and Patrick know, we could talk for hours of all of the great ways to go find these type of stocks, but I'm going to turn it back to Glenn.
All right. I'm going to do two last things. One, I'm going to get you your mug. That's number 2. Number 1 is I'm going to go back to the graphs, and I'm going to put in a market timing graph, because I think that plays very important into what we're talking about. Jim and we're all talking about this. How come this doesn't look right? Still doesn't look right. Who drew these? Still doesn't look right. Hold on. Did we break through? Where's my level? No, we didn't. All right, so I'm going to draw a line. The market is in the market's in the consolidation phase. All right, I'm drawing my levels. Huh?
Wedge it.
Oh, shut up, Jim. Patrick is known as the wedgeinator because he knows how to wedge anything. But there it is. We're in the consolidation phase where the market is hitting lower highs and higher lows. And it goes right back to what Jim said about all of the stocks that we've seen. Where are they at? They're at current levels of resistance. Well, the market is still in a phase of consolidation, and to see if the market really has real upside potential, and I know we gave you stocks specifically for swing trading now. The reason why I show this is because market's direction affects 80% of the stocks in the market. We are in the consolidation phase. Yesterday, we touched right above that level, right at that level of the trend line to the downside, and what are we doing today? We're back traveling into the wedge. So I know that we've given you all of these stocks for swing trading. We've given you good reasons behind them. All 3 of us have. but I want you to keep on top of what's going on in the market. A lot of you don't even realize that we can time the market, and we do. And this is what's going on in the market. So all you new folks out there, I love that we've given you stocks to take a look at. Just be careful, all right? We are consolidation. What does that mean? If the market is staying within these levels, the market is going to eventually have to break one way or the other. And Patrick is the wedgeinator. He can wedge a stock, he can wedge anything. All right? I don't know if that's good, bad, or indifferent. But
Glenn, you just have to learn how to hit a wedge on the golf course is what you need to do.
Wow, really? Wow, really? You so threw me under the bus, really? $50 a hole next time we go out. $50 a hole. All right, Joey, put all three of us back up, please. First off, we're going to get, and the second thing is we're going to give away the mug. Joey's going to give me a name for the mug, whoever won the mug. Joey, did you put it in the room already? Julian Strickland has won the mug. Julian Strickland has won the mug. Are you here? If you're not here, I swear, I am so going to jump up and down, and I'm going to come through the screen. I'm just telling that ahead of time. I so am going to get mad. All right, Julian Bueller.
Anyone?
Oh, man, Julian, you got to be here, man. You got to be here. You got to be here. All right, if you are here, you got to send an email to connect@vectorvest.com. Connect, that's not you, Jay. Connect@vectorvest.com. Man, Julian is not, did he leave? Son of a gun. I'm not doing another giveaway. That was who it was for. I'm not going to give a second one. Unless, Julian is there. There you go. All
There
right,
he is.
thank you, Julian. All right, you have to send an email to connect@vectorvest.com. All right, so there you go, Julian. There you go. All right. Jim, Patrick, thank you so much for being here. I love these panels. These hot stock panels are a great way. We have a little fun, but we actually get down to business and we start to put out some stocks that people can consider. Everybody is on YouTube looking at a whole bunch of YouTube content to find out what's the next stock to buy. We give you opportunities. We do a deep dive into the stocks, and that's what we're here to do. Hopefully you enjoy them. Again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Share this stuff. Share this stuff with people that you know. Share. This is going to come up as a recording. Share it to the people with people that you know. All right? And last but not least, before we go, one last time. Financial Freedom Summit next week. Next week, April 16th and 17th. It's free. It's free. Online. You want to learn more about what VectorVest can do for you? You know, remember Janet Jackson's song, "What Have You Done For Me Lately?" Ooh.
Oh, man.
So now, don't hate on my singing. You're a hater.
Oh.
You're drinking hateration. Anyway.
All right, it's time to end.
Whatever. Click the link for to register. Click the link to register, and you will be registered for the free online. It's next week. So somebody wants to see the list again? All right, let's go to the watch list viewer. Hot stock panel for, there it is. There's your 7 stocks. When Joey does release this right away, you can always come back to this video, pause it right here, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. But here are our stocks for this month's hot stock panel. I think that everybody did a good job bringing good stocks to the table. All right, and that's what it's all about. And I love that we have 3 different personalities to do it. So you guys, Patrick, and you know something, in a minute, all 3 of us are going to be sitting in offices in a row, starting with Jim, down to Patrick, down to me, so we can bang on each other's wall and piss each other off. That's going to be awesome. Jim is not very happy about that. I can see his face is like, "Rrr, rrr, 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 rrr."
And Glenn just made this a mature status for the screen. Thanks, Glenn.
All right, so folks, until the next time.
I'm sorry, I just don't know what to say.
So until the next time we see you folks, adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my folks in Hawaii. Salam, shalom, Namaste. Have a great day, folks. This video is over. See ya.